Hey guys, welcome to the latest episode of Progress. This episode I'm going to be doing some Q&A for you guys. Got a bunch of questions sent in from people and I'm going to answer them in my opinion. So if I can help you guys out just with things that I've done and from my experience, I will. Before I get into that, I started last week I started all of this stomach protocol, things to help rebuild the health of my stomach after the issues that I've been having for the last couple of years. So I'm on top of that. There's a lot of powders, tablets, potions, all sorts of things that I'm taking. But I'm already feeling a whole lot better. I had to take out a lot of foods though. I've had to take out gluten, taking out dairy. So you know, I've lost, what else? Peanut butter. So you know, a lot of things that I was having pretty much is out now, and I'm getting my carbohydrates from white rice, oats, and sometimes sweet potato, but sweet potato was bothering me a little bit. So pretty much white rice and oats are my carb sources at the moment, and my proteins is just meats. And I'm just getting off protein powders just for now, and I'm taking just amino acids. And I'm going to do this for 3 weeks, and then once my results come back, my allergy tests, I'll be able to see exactly what I'm intolerant to or allergic to. So at the moment, I'm just taking out all of the things that could be possibilities for making my stomach a little bit upset. So I'm working with Luke McNally with that. He's very educated in the field of all the stomach health as well, and he's battled with stomach problems in the past. You know, I learned more from half an hour with Luke McNally just on the phone than what I did with the doctor and the surgeon that I talked to when I went into the hospital. So definitely, if you're struggling with stomach problems, or even if the doctors have diagnosed you with things like ulcerative colitis, Crohn's, things like that, try to see someone like Luke who can look at like the holistic treatments as well, and give it a go before you just keep taking tablets that you could be on for the rest of your life. So this is definitely, I was really excited to hear what Luke had to say, and already now just doing everything that he's telling me to do, I feel a lot better. So yes, there you go. So training, everything is all pretty good. I'm still lighter than what I would normally be. I'm still getting my weight back up. I'm about, I'm probably about still 7 or 8 kilos less than where I need to be. But that'll come back really quick. I'm already starting to feel better. I'm getting all my food down now, which is good. I'm not really bloated and uncomfortable. So it's all positive. It's all good. So let's get into the questions. All right. The first question I've got is from Brett Carden, and he says, "Hi Jake. I have been training for about 6 years, but only have really got my diet and training in check over the last 2 years, and I'm seeing some great results. I'm 30 next year. Am I too old to give competitive bodybuilding a good crack? Cheers." Hey Brett, I definitely don't think that you're too old to give competitive bodybuilding a crack. You've been training for 6 years already. I think your body is probably going to go between 30 and 35. A lot of the guys that I know between 30 and 35, their bodies just grows like weeds. So I think if you're dedicated and you stick to it, and now you said you've worked out your diet and your training, of course you could. You'd probably compete in a year or two. I don't know how you look, but if you've already been training for 6 years, you should have a fair bit of, you should have already been able to build a fair bit of muscle mass. So you should be able to compete within the next couple of years, I'd say. But never too old, never ever too old. There's a guy, Ray Moon, that competes from Graham Lansfield's gym in Athletic, and I think he's almost 80, or he is 80, something like that. So, never too old. What else we have? Aresti Parabellum Rakas. He says, Jake, do you use supplements to shed body fat? If so, what do you prefer and when do you take them? Aresti, thanks for the question, mate. Pre-contest is the only time where I would do anything to enhance fat loss. And I don't do anything crazy. I wake up first thing in the morning, I take acetyl L-carnitine, I take branched chain amino acids, glutamine, and then I go for a walk. You know, that's all I've ever done. I've never used fat burners only because I don't like the way that I feel on them. It makes me feel, if they make me feel real jittery and things, you know, I don't like to use it. I've always relied on acetyl L-carnitine. I have a big teaspoon before I do cardio on an empty stomach, and I probably do that twice a day where I'd use that. And that's really all I have to do. I'm one of the people that's never had to struggle to get the weight off. If anything, it's trying to keep the weight on. As soon as I start doing cardio or start taking things out of my diet, I lose the weight real quick. And even if I take out cheat meals, you know, I lose a lot of size real quick. So I've got to be real careful with what I do. So I'm not using crazy supplements to lose body fat. That's the least of my problems. So that's my answer to that. Luke Adams says, how and why you started your training studio, and also how do we get one of those signed posters? Oh, okay. I started my personal training studio here. It's in Melbourne. It's been here for probably about 3 years now, and it was just offices. My parents owned the building, and it was just offices up here, and it was like all cubicles. So the video when you see me training in the gym, the open gym, it wasn't like that at all. It was all cubicle offices just the whole way through. So we ripped down all the walls, did everything, put the mirrors up, new windows, did all the flooring, get all the gym equipment up here. You know, it was only supposed to be a couple of pieces of equipment for me to use because I just didn't like training in big public gyms. I just didn't feel comfortable, and I was always waiting for equipment, and it just frustrated me, especially when I had my workouts planned in my head and how I wanted it to be, and then when I got to the gym, I'd have to change things up because of, you know, whatever. So yeah, it was only supposed to be a couple of pieces here for me to work out, and then slowly I accumulated another piece here and there from people that owned gyms, or gyms were selling equipment. I'd get phone calls from people say, come pick this up, I heard you were looking for this. And then all of a sudden I've got 90 square meters of gym equipment. So that's when I decided to do my personal training and start training people out of my gym as well, and not just have it as my personal gym, have it as a business, as a personal training business for me too. So that's how that all got started. And the signed posters, you can just go on my Facebook page. I've got an album called Signed Photos. Any of those photos, they have a number next to them in the description. Just send me an inbox with the number that you're after of the picture, and I'll do a personal message on it if you like, and I'll mail it out to you. So just send me an inbox and I'll send you all the details for that. Next one, Al Johnson says, what has been your favorite memory of your bodybuilding journey? Is it meeting certain people, winning a competition, getting sponsorship, etc.? It's been everything really. Standouts would have to be getting my first sponsorship, which was with Optimum Nutrition. Well, my first major sponsorship. Before that, in the past, I had sponsorships, but I'm going to say my first major contract was with Optimum Nutrition. Being able to train with Sam Ioannidis when I was young. He was a multiple-time Mr. World, Mr. Universe winner. And you know, I trained with him in his own gym, which isn't around anymore, but I trained with him and learned so much from him. Like a lot of my mindset and a lot of the things that I learned from Sam, I still use to this day. I don't know, a lot of young guys probably haven't heard of Sam, but look him up, Sammy Ioannidis. You know, he helped me. His help was huge, and it really paid off for me now, and even as a professional bodybuilder. just the mindset, like I said, he was just one of those guys, just balls to the wall every workout. Didn't care about going through the pain and the forced reps, and would always come up with a workout just to, to push himself as well. So look him up, check him out. So that was Sam, and then I had Lee Priest. Everybody knows Lee Priest. So I got the opportunity to be able to stay with him. I went to Newcastle, I stayed with him for a little while, trained with him. He got me ready for all my comps in 2012. I won all my comps in 2012. So, and Lee's he was a really, really good coach and a good friend as well. So they're definitely the two standouts with people. And now obviously I've got Neil Hill helping me out, and that's all opened up because of BSN. I got the BSN contract. So it's a whole bunch of things. Everything has led into something else. So it's very hard to pinpoint one thing. So many great things have happened. I'm very, very fortunate. But winning competition would have to be the first time that I won, obviously the Worlds that I won last year, that was the biggest contest that I've won so far. So that was great, and the first overall that I ever won, which was in Queensland, the Southern Hemispheres. Actually no, I won the overall Victoria before that, but I was always trying to win that NABBA Southern Hemisphere title. I won my class like 3 or 4 years in a row, and I never won the overall. So 2012 I won the overall at that comp, and that was an awesome feeling. So that was the first time that I cried backstage, believe it or not, because it was just that comp meant a lot to me. So what else do we have? Make good times roll. This is his Instagram name. I train at the morning without breakfast. I have my shake after a workout, and I wanted to ask. I have my shake after workout, though I wanted to ask, can I have a high fat / protein as my first meal post workout? I've never trained on an empty stomach, so I can't really recommend. I wouldn't recommend anybody to train on an empty stomach. I always love to be able to have a nice breakfast full of carbohydrates. I've got some fast-acting carbohydrates, got some fruits in there, a little bit of yogurt, oats, some slow-digesting carbs, and then my proteins. Normally eggs and egg whites, which I'm not having at the moment because of my stomach, but you can have anything. You can have your red meats in the morning, but I would definitely train on a full stomach, and then after the workout, have your post-workout meal. And post-workout meal, I don't like to put much fats in the post-workout meal. I will just get whatever fats are from the meat. I like to have a steak or a piece of salmon after I train, and just with white rice. And again, you can have some simple sugars after you train as well. I usually like to have salmon, white rice, probably about 50 grams of pineapple, and a couple of tablespoons of yogurt. That's what I always do. But the biggest thing with you, I would say, is try to get that meal in before you go to the gym. Fuel up before the workout. What else do we have? One last question. Another Instagram question from RC Fitness. He said, I'm currently on a push-pull legs routine, but instead of doing the normal strength then hypertrophy weeks, I've changed it so I mix the reps up with within the same workout. Two exercises are 6 to 8 reps, and the rests are 10 to 12. And the reps are 10 to 12. No, the rest, he said rest. Do you think this will be optimum for a natural athlete, or should I do strength 3 to 6 reps and hypertrophy 8 to 12 reps on different days? Keep up the good work. Obviously, bodybuilders, even professional bodybuilders, people think that they don't take steroids all the time. So when they're off steroids, they're still able to grow. And they still lift how they were lifting when they were off them as well. So people thinking that it's completely different for a guy that takes steroids and not on steroids. It's not completely different how you have to train. I think people that take steroids, the high repetitions do work very well because it's you've got nutrient-rich blood and you're flushing blood into all the muscles, and you're giving it optimum, or you're feeding the muscle and giving it everything that it needs. Whereas when you're natural, I think that you know, the heavy weights definitely do. Definitely, you will need to incorporate a lot more heavy weights if you're solely natural. But in saying that, like I said, a lot of professional bodybuilders I know that are obviously when they're off, they're natural. They're probably less than natural, if anything, because their hormones drop. So they'd be even less than a natural athlete. And they're still able to grow and they're still able to put on size if they're training right. That seems to be the biggest problem. When guys stop taking things, if they are on things, they stop training. And they go into a hole and they're all depressed because they're maybe not, they don't think they're as strong as what they are, but a lot of it's mental. You know, they can still train, they can still go to the gym, but a lot of guys tend to do that. Once they're off, they don't even bother training. So I don't think that it really matters. If I was you, I would do what you said you're doing. I would do them both in the same workout and then change that as well, do them in different workouts. I follow that Y3T training, so I do the week 1, the heavy stuff, 8 to 10 reps, all the way up to week 3, which is between 20 and 70 reps on some exercises. So just change it up a little bit. And that concludes progress for this week. I haven't got anything else to say. I haven't got any other questions to answer. I had a few other questions, but they didn't make sense. So some people have to learn how to type before they push enter. And that's it. So next week I'm gonna do another training video for you guys. I'm not sure what I'm gonna train yet. I'll just see whatever day it falls on. And don't forget, subscribe. The button's up here somewhere, around here, there, somewhere. And stay up to date with everything that the guys at Massive Joe's are doing. This month, November, got a really cool BSN special on the No Explodes as well. And that's it. See you later.